economy down. Political editor Nick Robinson has listened to the speech at Silverport in Essex.
Getting Britain back to work. Not the sort of slogan you normally associate with the Tory party. That, of course, is precisely why George Osborne made it today, and made it here, at Tilbury Docks.
That's why today I'm making a new commitment. A commitment to fight for full employment in Britain. Making jobs a central goal of our economic plan.
In case he forgot his script, the Chancellor's aides had written it up behind him. They want to highlight tax cuts for people and for businesses, which take effect this week.
To those who ask why, let me tell you, if our businesses can keep more of the money they've earned, because the rate...
It's quite a slow process doing this. We've been watching them all day today. They've done about 80 metres or so. It's going to take them 7 months to go up one bank and down the other side. One way that's been suggested it might be paid for is local people paying some sort of surcharge on their council tax. The real test, of course, will be during the rain next winter. Kate.
Indeed, John, thank you. The first ever annual assessment of the police service in England and Wales says a series of controversies has left the service damaged but not broken. The Chief Inspector of Constabulary, Tom Windsor, says public trust and police morale have both been shaken, but that the great majority of officers are honest and brave. Our Home Editor, Mark Easton, is at the Home Office for us. How will the assessment be judged and received then?
Well, actually, Tom Windsor, of course, is a pretty controversial appointment as Chief Inspector of Prisons, certainly within the police service. Many officers were pretty dubious, some were outright hostile. He was, of course, a non-cop in what was traditionally a police officer's job, and he was down on that list. The many inquiries and scandals that have dominated headlines in the last few months and years. It makes the point, as you say, that public confidence has been severely shaken, and notes that the public feel badly let down and perhaps afraid when police officers are exposed as having failed. But Tom Windsor defends undercover police officers, of course so controversially used in the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, and he notes how honest police officers have been dismayed by the way that sometimes that they're all tarred with the same brush. So I think generally this report will be welcomed by those in the police service.
Okay, Mark, thank you. All right, well, let's have a look now then at some of the other stories making the news today. For the first time ever, solicitors and probation officers jointly walked out of court across England and Wales at the start of the 2-day strike. Members of the National Association of Probation Officers are protesting against government plans to privatise up to 70% of the service, while criminal defence solicitors are walking out over cuts in legal aid fees. Charlie Brooks, the husband of the former News of the World editor Rebecca Brooks, has told a court he hid pornography from the police because he feared embarrassing details would be leaked to the press. The road horse trainer put the DVDs in a padded envelope and placed it behind some bins in an underground car park. He denies conspiring to pervert the course of justice. Now, the Malaysian authorities have revealed that the last words from the crew of the missing plane were "Good night, Malaysian 370," and not "All right, good night," as previously reported. The new, more formal final words could dispel suggestions that there was indeed a problem in the cockpit as had first been thought. Well, 10 aircraft and 11 ships from 10 nations are now scouring an area of 245,000 square kilometres west of Perth. John Donaldson is in Perth and has the latest.
Back to base, but still no breakthrough. Planes are now scouring the southern Indian Ocean.
Oh dear.
And still no closer to knowing where the missing Malaysian airliner crashed. For the moment though, no question of giving up.
I'm certainly not putting a time limit on it. We owe it to everyone to do whatever we reasonably can, and we can keep searching for quite some time to come.
Setting off from Perth today, an Australian Navy ship, which we were given access to. It's carrying a device called a towed finger locator. This will be dragged through the water to try and pick up signals emitted by the plane's missing black box flight recorder and relay them back to the ship. But the locator only has a short range.
Despite the state-of-the-art technology on board this ship, it's only really of any use if they know where the plane hit the water, and at the moment they have no idea. The search teams admit that finding the black box is a long
long shot.
First.